sunny bank holiday weekend. So I'm going to talk about the spoken number discipline in the World Memory Championships. So spoken number is delivered with one digit every second, hearing it just once, and then writing down the digits in order after that. There are three trials. First trial in the World Championships is 200 digits, followed by 300 digits, and then finally 547. And because it's sudden death, first mistake, stop marking, means you have to get the make sure you get the early digits correct. Of course, if you get the first digit wrong, even if you get everything else right subsequent from that, you will still score 0. And obviously the early trials try to get some points on the board, then you can go all out for gold or glory, death or glory in the final the 3 attempts. In the early days, the numbers were read out on a microphone by Geoffrey Malyon. Geoffrey Malyon was the chief arbiter at the time, or ran front of house MC for the championships, and he would read them out on a microphone at one digit every 2 seconds, as accurately as you could manage that. Of course, one every 2 seconds is much easier, and it was deemed to be too easy. That's why we've now reduced it to one every 1 second, and of course transferred over to computer reading the numbers rather than a person, because then you get perfect accuracy no matter where in the world that's done. It's following the same voice and the same pattern of exactly one every second, no variations, because that's obviously very important for a level playing field around the world. They're always done in English, and the reason for that is we had a disaster many years ago. We tried to do simultaneous translation, so people had headsets on, and we had 4 laptops, each one with a different language, and then the competitors would tune to the right channel for their particular language. And we'd borrowed a couple of the laptops, so they were all set up, ready to go, set it off. But unbeknownst to us, one of the laptops had an app on it, a clock app, that announced the time of day. So halfway through the spoken number, I think it was in German, it said, "It is 12 o'clock." And of course that completely threw their concentration and to have this unexpected noise. In the rules of the championship, if there's an unexpected disturbance, you stop the recording and then you wind back and then continue. But of course, because we weren't monitoring all the channels, then it's only one channel that was affected. Everybody else was fine. It was just the Germans affected, and we didn't notice it happen because we weren't monitoring them all simultaneously whilst they were happening. So of course, the end of the memorization phase, all the Germans put their hands up and said the interruption occurred in our recording. Everybody else was writing their numbers down, was fine. Of course, then you had a problem. Did you abandon that attempt and start again, which is not fair then to everybody else who'd done their first attempt? Or do you just give the Germans a retest and everybody else's score stands? But the Germans said that's not fair because we've used up our best journey when we were trying to memorise the first attempt. So we came to a compromise that in the end what we did is we said to the Germans, okay, we'll do it again with you and we'll take the best of 2. So depending on whether you got your best in the attempt that was interrupted or on your second attempt, we'll take the best of those 2, which they were happy with. But of course, we want to avoid this kind of problem. So we've then logistically decided that actually, especially as the competition expands to many, many more people, it becomes unfeasible for people to wear headphones to hear the recording, and shouldn't be too difficult for competitors to learn the numbers from 0 to 9 in English. They're memory competitors after all, so that's why it's been decided now that it will always be in English. So it's just too difficult, and after this catastrophe when we tried it first time, we thought it best not to have extra complexities that we don't actually need in the competition. So that's how it works now, 1 digit per second in English with 200, 300 and 547 digits. Although even that's becoming too easy now, because Ryu Song-lee, our champion last year from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, scored perfect in all 3 trials, so everything we gave her she memorised. So obviously we'll increase the number of digits next year to maybe a world record plus 20% as it was before. But of course, if she's able to do that perfectly, then other competitors will catch up, and it then becomes too easy to do it 1 digit per second. We need to then think of a new way of doing it. We obviously won't change the rules until January 2021 at the absolute earliest. We just need to think about, can we do it faster? Is there some other way of doing it so that we make it continually a big challenge? But that's the only thing I have to say really about the spoken numbers. There's no real techniques I can give you to help you with it. It's just a case of concentrating and getting your early points on the board before you then try your second and third attempts. So next week we'll talk about the final discipline, the speed cards discipline. Until then, thanks for listening. Have a good weekend. Bye for now.